Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and this is part two of cutting out a paper wedding invitation. I just did one, and if you haven't watched it, you might want to watch it first so you won't be confused. This was the old one. And I started thinking, this has so much work need to be done to it. It'd almost be better to make your own, to start over from scratch. So I took I just searched the internet for a bride and groom clip art, and it came out with this. But you can't particularly use this because let me get rid of that spot. If we smart fill it to see what's going to be left, the bride and groom are going to be cut out and they're just going to fall out. And that might work, and you could back it up with another piece of paper, different color, and that might work. That might be pretty interesting. But if you want the bride and groom silhouette to be cut out with this cutout, the only way I can really think about it is take the bride and the groom, go up to effects and contour. We're going to contour to the outside 0.01. That leaves you a little bit of a border around the bride and groom. And then this is where your artistic ability would come in. We're going to break contour apart. We're going to cut out. We're going to break curve apart. We're going to take that inner piece and delete it because we don't need that. But what you're doing, you're going to make something, and you would do it with maybe a flower. Get some flowers close. I'm going to Control D and make a duplicate of that petal and bring it there. Control D, put another one here. And this is where your artistic ability would show up or not. And you'd probably need about 3 of them. To make it hold together, I would suggest maybe not putting it on their head. But what you're going to do, you're making a way to make the paper stay together. And then what you could do is just take your virtual segment elite key. There's a lot of things you could do to this. And the leaf doesn't really going to matter after what we're doing. And you just got to think about what lines to cut out and what lines not to cut out. So you could maybe put more, so looking back on it, the leaf doesn't really help you whatsoever. You just want to keep these 2 lines. Okay, now it might leak because of the fact that I've got some open nodes there. But now let's take our virtual segment delete key and fill this in. And that's what you're going to get. The bride and the groom look pretty cool. They're going to stay together. You might incorporate one into his back somehow. But you've got to think about that when you're working with it. So all I did is I took some flowers off the original one and just kind of recreated, like this flower had a bad spot. It's got a bad area. So I just started doing flowers, and this is this flower or this object. And you could add more just depending on what you're looking at. You could take and have some on the outside. And of course you'd want to close all those nodes up as you're doing it. I don't guess I left a flower. You can see I've been playing around with this for a little while, trying to figure out which way that would be the best. And then you would need to do the same thing here. Extenuate this paper, extenuate the paper so it won't fall out. And you could fold it. But that right there would look pretty cool, and you could modify these a little bit and everything. But you could take, I don't really have a flower left. Let's grab that flower. Let's Control D and make a duplicate and put it back. And this is how I just put it to the outside. You would want to group that together, Control G. And let's go down here and put it right here. And there's a lot of ways you could do this. Sometimes front bottom minus back. So let's grab that and grab our shift and click on it, and let's try front minus back. That didn't work. Back minus front. And see, by the time you figure out which way's the best, you could have already got your virtual segment delete key and deleted these lines. It makes the flower look like it's part of the paper more so. It's not, everything's not, doesn't have to be in the middle. And you can see what, I wouldn't have picked that particular one, and I've still got a black spot right there. That's part of that. I must have grouped it together with another part. Go to group, ungroup, and now you can grab that black spot. But you could do that several times, and really, this might be too much. There might be too much going on. It originally looked pretty good on the paper, and it is a bigger design, and than just the cutouts. So kind of play around with that, but just that's the only way I can figure out to put the bride and groom where they're going to be cut out and still be in the paper. Now, like I said in previous, it might be better to cut them completely out and then lightly glue or tape another, or put another sheet of paper behind the bride and groom, and then you would have some colors, some blues that would show up through here. Let's just kind of do that real quick. Like if you put some blue paper, well, let's make it blue. If you put some blue paper, let's take away the outline of our item. That's what your invitation would look like if you had blue paper behind it. And then that way you could use that full person and it would cut it out, but that still looks pretty cool. So that's another idea, to back it up with another piece of paper. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.